Hi, I'm Bart Hansen. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the instructions in the video description.
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
So I'm playing at the Matrix Casino, San Jose, California.
yeah.
Stakes are there's three blind structure, 2, 3, 5, $2 on the button, $600 max.
Okay.
Effective stack is $665.
665 effective. Okay.
Newish to the game, maybe half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. Mostly loose passive opponents.
Okay.
Pre-flop action starts with me. I'm in the hijack. I have black aces.
Okay.
I raise to 20.
Yep.
Button, small blind, and big blind call.
Button, small blind, big blind call. Okay, so 4 ways.
Yeah, four ways, $80 in the pot. Flop comes king of clubs, six of clubs,
Okay.
five of spades.
King of clubs, 6 of clubs, 5 of spades. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So action checks to me. I bet 50, and only the small blind calls.
Okay. So right away on this texture, Garland, depending unless there's some sort of crazy outlier with this small blind, this is going to be very, very king heavy to me. When you start to think about the hands that people, so it's king 6-5, we have aces, right? So we don't block any of the kings. Start to think about the hands that people play from the small blind to a raise as a cold call and then call the flop with somebody behind them. There's a lot of kings. People at this level love to play like king 10 plus. You know what I mean? Like to the point where like yeah, you might have like 8s or 9s, but I don't know if like they're calling with a 6 or a 5 like with the big blind next to act. And then remember they had to call pre-flop too. So that's what jumps out at me right away. I don't even know what's going to happen in this hand, but I think I'm hoping for your sake it's a clean run out. The other interesting thing here, too, is that you have the ace of clubs in your hand. That's very important because when you start to think about a cold calling range from the small blind, that cuts like a lot of the flush draws out. Meaning that if a club comes here on the turn, I'm probably happily continuing to bet. You know, the theory is that, yeah, we can bet call because we've got the ace of clubs, but there's just not that many flushes that the guy has. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a guy in the small blind is calling with, like, every ace X suited, and you have the ace that's the flush, then there aren't that many flushes that can come in. But I'm hoping for a clean turn. What's the turn? King 6-5.
So 180 in the pot on turn. Me and small blind only. Three of clubs comes.
Okay, so you do get the flush card that comes in, but you've got the ace of clubs.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so action checks to me. So now the first decision point is to either bet or check. So I'd weight the decisions, right? So I think this is kind of hard to get three streets of value, on a three flush board. So choose a street, maybe the turn and or the river, right? And I don't want him to fold out his marginal hands, let's say his pair of sevens through whatever, his 6Xs, his king Xs, king X without a club. That I don't want him to fold those, right?
I mean, that's true, but I mean, again, for the same reasons that I just, like I said, I mean, I know you had sent me this hand, but I didn't even realize what the turn was. Or I hadn't computed about it, but I mean, for the same exact reasons that I just said, maybe I should have waited until you told me the turn. Like, I'm betting this turn very liberally. I'm not concerned about the flush. I think you'd be giving somebody at 2-3-5 matrix too much credit for folding off a king, and they're certainly not going to fold off like a king with a club in it, like king, queen, king, jack, king 10 of clubs. The 3 doesn't really change much because of the tight range of the small blind. I just feel like this is going to be a bet way more for me than it is a check. Because if you take all those ace X of clubs out and you run a normal range, you can see how much of a value bet this is. Whereas if you didn't have the club, you could easily make the case that this could be a check back. That's how I would think about it. Did you check back?
I mean, yes, I did.
Okay.
So, right, I can go either way with a bet or a check, but
Yeah.
in this case, I decided to check.
Yeah.
Hoping to get the value on the river. Not
So
protect myself against a flush, potentially a flush, right? He might check raise, and I will have,
again, though, when you
you
look at the, if you, I think it really, it's a very narrow. Again, it's it's 2-3-5, so people will show up with all kinds of hands, but it's a much narrower range based upon the pre-flop flat and the turn call. There's just not that many flushes. Yeah, he could have some suited broadways. The king is a club though, too, right? So it'd have to be like queen jack, queen 10, jack 10 of clubs, maybe 9-8 of clubs, a suited connector in there that calls like the turn, or excuse me, it calls the flop. That's a combo draw that doesn't raise off. There's just so many more kings. I feel like you don't block a king. I mean, you can do the combo work. There's like, there's 12 of each one, right? King, queen, king, jack, king, 10. There's 12 combos, 3 and 4, 36. I'm finding it real hard to find like 5 or 6 flush combos because you
yeah,
have the ace of clubs. If you didn't have the ace of clubs, it's different. But okay, you check it back. Let's roll the river.
yeah. So, right. So the river is a four of diamonds.
4 of diamonds. Okay. So it puts a one-liner to a deuce and a 6 out there.
Right. There's a one-liner to a straight.
Yeah.
Right. So, action checks to me. Now I'm trying to target his, king X, obviously, or any 6X hand, or any pair, eights and whatever. I'm trying to target all those hands to call river bet.
Well, this is, I
And
mean, I know you've been with me for a long time. I mean, this is where you can go very, very thin. People might look at this and they're like, well, a seven's a straight, a deuce is a straight. How can you bet? It's pretty obvious he doesn't have a flush, right? You've got the ace of clubs. He's not betting the river. Is he going to bet? Is he going to check the river with a flush? I mean, once in a great while. His hand really looks like a king, right? Which is kind of what we thought on the turn. And my contention always at this level is that you can actually make bets like this that are super thin and you'll get looked up even more as long as you don't size like crazy because a lot of your opponents will think you're polarized even though they don't really know what that term means because everybody else that were to bet this board here, Garland, would have a straight or a bluff for the most part, or maybe a set or some shit. So you can go thinner. So I actually like a bet here. Now
yeah,
in a tournament, would I bet? Maybe not. Right? The pot is what, 50, 100, what, 180, something like that.
yes.
So yeah, maybe I bet like 75 or 80.
hmm
And what did you do?
Yeah, so I did bet 70.
Oh, okay, bet
I
70. Okay,
yeah, targeting is mainly King X, but maybe some other random pairs of call too. But
yeah.
um, so definitely think I need to call by worse, but that wasn't the case in this hand. So
Mm-hmm.
he called. I proudly turn over my one pair, announce one pair, small blind. Looks at it for like 20 or 30 seconds, and then he finally flips over his hand.
Which is what?
Yeah, the 6-4 of spades.
6-4 of spades. Well, this guy is much, much wider than he should be. But of course, I mean, we see that at this level. I still don't have a problem with it. I think I would still bet the turn. And the funny thing about that is that you look at this, we're not trying to be results oriented, but if you bet the turn, now obviously you lose, right? You lost to a 4, right? But if you bet the turn, I mean, you lost a 2 pair, but if you bet, let's say you bet the turn, let's say you check back the turn, right? Now the river's like a 10, and he checks you and you bet and he folds. You actually lost turn value. We wouldn't have thought that he would have like a hand with a 4 in it, but it's the similar concept, right? Like you actually lost turn value because I think he's going to call and you're not going to face any type of like crazy like turn check raise semi bluff. It's just not going to happen that much at this level. But thanks for the call, Garland. I appreciate it as always. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.